Hello, my name's Leanne Peters. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here just to share a short video. I had this question posed to me. Let me read it. It says, can you describe to me what or how you do inner work? Like, what's the technique? All I hear is meditation, the person says. So describe to me what or how you do inner work. All I can describe is how I do it, which is what I'm going to do. So there is no specific technique or specific way that you have to follow. When I think of inner work, I think of looking inward, of course. Well, that's obvious. So I feel like sometimes, in fact, a lot of the time, we tend to project our issues outwardly. So we might see that that person's got an issue, or that situation is not working for me, or that person's really bugging me, or and we tend to look outside of ourselves. When we become aware and observant that we're doing that, then we turn our focus from externally and we start taking more responsibility for our role with our issues, and what those issues are and how we can shift those. So once we've turned our viewpoint from looking outward at everyone else having the problem and looking inward and saying, okay, perhaps I have got a role that I am playing here, and how can I take responsibility for that? Once we shift that viewpoint, then we can start doing some really serious inner work. Now, how you do that will be unique and different for you. These are things that work for me. I actually find journal writing much more helpful than meditation, because if I'm doing inner work and I'm actively seeking out the reason for an issue that I have so I can move on from it, I usually find I'm not in a good space to meditate. My mind is too active, I'm too anxious, I'm too caught up emotionally to actually concentrate on a productive meditation. So meditation's probably not even on my list of things to do when I'm actually doing some serious inner work, when I've got an issue presenting itself and I'm trying to work out what it is so I can let it go. So I actually find journal writing is the first thing that I will do, and I will write pages and pages and pages of how I feel, what I'm noticing, what's annoying me, and I'll look at all these things in a really honest way and try and be as broad with my viewpoint and perspective as I can be, so I can really look at the bigger picture, because the bigger picture will show me what that core issue is. And once I get it, then it's revealed, I get it, I can release it, and then I can move on, let it go, and things will be okay again. And they'll be okay for a while until the next issue comes up. So it depends how far along you are on your journey of inner work. If it's a new concept for you, you might have issue after issue that comes up quite quickly, but that's okay. It becomes easier and easier as you go. And the length between the issues coming up also becomes longer as you dedicate more time to your inner work. I feel being honest with how I feel is really important, because if I'm sitting here blaming or feeling like I'm victim to someone else's choice or someone else's actions, then that's actually me externalizing that energy, and I'm projecting that issue out to other people through blame or feeling victim. So I have to recognize when I'm doing that and draw my attention back inward again at how I feel, what I'm thinking, what's my body doing, what am I observing about this situation, what's irritating me, what's bugging me, how angry am I feeling. All these sorts of things are about being honest with how we feel, and that helps us take responsibility for our role in this situation. Feeling is also really important, letting ourselves feel our way through it. Some people shut off their feelings or resist their feelings because they don't want to be hurt again. It's really important to be aware if we're doing that, because that's an issue in itself. But being honest with how we feel and letting our feelings be heard. I've found it much more helpful. The more I've tried to shut down how I feel, the louder the feelings become. So they become very scary and almost very fear-based. So the more we listen to it and let those feelings move and flow on, the easier they are to face. So be careful that you're not shutting down how you feel in fear of being hurt again or whatever reason you might have. But instead, work with your journal and let yourself get in touch with how you feel again in an honest and real and raw and vulnerable way. Like I've said many times, it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable, but it takes going to those depths to come out that other side when we're doing inner work. Also think about with your inner work the tools that you have that you work with. So like for me, I love working with my healing energy cards. So I will have those out and I will pull cards, I will journal around them. They help give me another perspective. You might have crystals that you work with. You might work with a drum or some other healing tools, your hands, energy work. It doesn't matter what your toolkit is, it will be unique for you, but you can work with those tools to help you do that inner work, which means travel through the pain of it and come out the other side into breakthrough. So I trust this has been helpful, just a few tips and thoughts on inner work, and please work with whatever resonates with you. Allow it to help take your inner connections to a new level and a new depth, which is something I'm personally always wanting to do, is always deepen my connection. How can I learn more? How can I grow more? How can I go inward just that little bit deeper? So I trust something shared's helpful. Just take on board what feels right, let the rest go, and enjoy getting to know who you are through your inner work. It's really is one of the keys, isn't it? How do I know who I am? Well, you have to turn your gaze inward to find out. It's also how you get to know your truth. So lots to explore. Have fun. Get started. Start in your journal if you want to. So thanks for connecting. If you want to, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. Show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you'd like to connect more privately or learn more about the work that I do at Temple of Balance, please visit templeofbalance.com.au. Thanks so much for connecting and happy inner journeying. Namaste.